Hey guys, Brock from Command here, and today we're going to be applying the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, to different health goals. But today, part one of a three-part series, we're going to be talking about weight loss. Guys, it just so happens that about 70 to 80% of weight loss comes from diet alone. So while we can think of exercise, supplements, prescriptions, having a trainer or dietitian, et cetera, building this big plan, the 80-20 rule applied to this highlights the fact that in reality, about 70 to 80% of weight loss comes from diet alone. So if we cover just some fairly simple tactics for dieting, most people are going to see some real benefits and going to see real weight loss happen. Now, the more weight you have to lose, the faster you're probably going to see the results, kind of in general, but most people, if they apply this, are going to see weight loss. So of course, as always, consult your primary care provider to make sure this is safe and reasonable for you to do. So let's jump right in. Today we're talking about two things: calorie restriction and nutrient-dense foods. That's it. Now we are going to go into some detail here. So for calorie restriction, all we're looking for is something like a 200 to 400 calorie deficit. It's going to vary on your age and your sex and potentially other things, but the main thing is about a 200 to 400 calorie deficit for most people is going to do the job. So the main thing with calorie restriction is, how do we know that we're in one? The first thing is to know how many calories you're burning. For that, you want to get an in-body scan at Supplement Superstore. It's going to give you your metabolic rate. It's just going to give you a guess at that. Then you can talk to the staff at Supplement Superstore to see, hey, should I add calories to this for my total calorie output because I am going on walks or I am exercising? And you can add some calories to that metabolic rate, and that's your functional calories burned per day on average. The second piece to the puzzle here is that you do want to take a few days or maybe a week or two, and you want to track everything that you're eating. That's going to be a real eye-opener, and you're going to see just how many calories you're actually eating. Then you do some basic arithmetic. Is how much I'm eating less than how much I'm burning? Okay, so that's step number one. And that's probably what's going to lead to the most weight loss. Just applying that first step has a huge potential for the scale to go down over time. Now, the second and last thing that we're going to talk about is what kinds of foods are we eating, right? We're going to be in a calorie restrictive diet, but what are we eating? So we want to eat nutrient dense foods. We want to eat whole foods, food that came from the ground or grows on four legs, so to speak. These are the foods that are in the perimeter of the grocery store, right? We have meats, we have poultry, we have fish, we have dairy, we have fruits and vegetables. In the middle, we have the boxed lunches, we have the refined carbohydrates, we have the chips, we have the breads, we have the pastas, we have, there are some good things in there. There's beans, there's nuts, there's some good things in there. But in general, think whole food diet and perimeter of the grocery store. So I'm going to break it down real quick into proteins, carbs, and fats. So to eat a whole food diet, a nutrient dense diet, for proteins, we're looking at eating at least half a gram to maybe 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now, if you weigh over 250 pounds, you want to, the weight you want to use is going to be 250 and not 300, 350, that sort of thing. So you're going to want to kind of max, for your calculation purposes, you're going to max it about 250. But you're going to take your weight, you're going to multiply it by anywhere from 0.5 to 0.7. And for you muscle builders out there, 0.7 is kind of the peak benefit for muscle hypertrophy, for muscle growth. And that's going to be your general protein goal for the day. Healthy protein options would be things like chicken, fish, red meat in moderation, plain Greek yogurt, and one of my favorites, eggs. Eggs are an absolute superfood. They have the highest bioavailability of protein for any food that we eat. So eggs are a wonderful one, and they also give us some really great fats as well. So let's go to carbs second. So think organic complex carbs, think high fiber organic and least processed. So if you're used to eating white bread, think wheat bread. And let's take that a step further. Instead of Sara Lee wheat, honey wheat bread, we're going to go with Dave's Killer Bread, organic, high fiber, that sort of thing. There are a lot of benefits to eating this way for your metabolic health and longevity that I don't have time to touch on, but just for one example, a high fiber diet that Dave's Killer bread that has higher fiber, that fiber keeps your blood sugars from spiking nearly as high as they would if it were a low fiber type of bread. So for your blood sugars, your metabolism, your insulin sensitivity, high fiber is a good way to go for carbs. Oh, and for those pasta lovers out there, myself included, a whole wheat penne pasta is really not that bad. Does it taste as good? Not really, but if you want to have a pasta night and you do some whole wheat penne pasta, just notice how much better you feel after eating, a serving of that versus the bleached, enriched, more processed version of pasta. And then lastly, with fats, you think avocado, eggs. Eggs have more than 100 milligrams of omega-3s per egg, typically. Extra virgin olive oils is another kind of superfood. It's being used for longevity, anti-inflammation, cardiovascular health, all kinds of stuff. Fish have some wonderful omega-3s in them, so fish is a good one. Also, whole-fat dairy, right? We don't want to demonize whole-fat dairy. There are some good fats in there. Guys, that's really it. I know I did go into some detail, but let's hone in real quick on that 20% of the 80-20 rule. We're looking for calorie restriction. We're looking for nutrient-dense foods. That's it. The foods that are nutrient dense and not as processed and that are less refined, you're going to get full faster. You're going to get more nutrients out of them. It's going to be healthier for you in many ways, from a weight loss standpoint, from a hormone standpoint, from a longevity and cardiovascular health standpoint. So much more detail could be thrown at this subject, but calorie restriction and eating nutrient dense foods is where it's at. And for those who are thinking about weight loss medications and different things, guys, start with this. So one question I ask my patients who are interested in the GLP-1 medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, I ask them, hey, if we don't do a medication, what's the likelihood of you losing weight the holistic way? And if they say less than 50%, I say, okay, well, in your case, given your health and how overweight you are at this time, the weight loss medications may make sense for you. But guys, if we can tap into this calorie restriction diet and eat nutrient-dense foods, most people who don't have something wild medically going on, they're gonna see results and they're gonna feel much better, right? You're gonna feel lighter on your feet. You're gonna get rid of some of that bloat, some of that extra water in your gut from all the refined stuff you've been eating, and you're gonna see the scale go down. That's gonna happen for probably most people, okay? As always, guys, check with your primary care provider about a calorie restriction and nutrient-dense diet approach to weight loss. The fact of the matter is that when you stay holistic with some things like weight loss, you can get some wildly good benefits from a quality of life and a longevity standpoint that you may not get from different approaches, from using a stimulant for weight loss or something else. So with that, that's a wrap. And guys, stay tuned for next month. We're going to be going over another topic. We're going to be applying the Pareto principle. So hope this was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next video.